So when you do send an offer, just think, just like B-Rabbit, 8 Mile, one shot, one chance. You got sweaty palms and you have this one chance to close. Oh wait, it goes, don't miss your chance to close. I got this Unity. Okay. Why wasn't your offer accepted? Oh no, you lost your dream house. So I'm gonna tell you the mistakes that commonly happen when writing an offer on a house. This video is for anybody, not just realtors or real estate people. It is for everybody. I'm Trey with the Cavalry Group, brokered by Real. Let's dive right in. The most common mistake that people do is your offer is too high. What? I know, you're probably thinking, what do you mean, Trey? I'm sure they want more money for the house. That is correct. But if you write your offer too high and you're using financing, what happens is the house will not appraise for that amount. Let me give you an example. If you submit an offer on a house for $450,000, but the market reports say it's only worth $400,000, then you will submit an offer for $450,000 and it will not get accepted. Why? It's because the house will only value at $400,000 when you have a loan behind it, whether it's a VA loan, FHA loan, conventional loan, they will only value that. Now, what you pay cash on top of it will improve your offer. That will be in a separate video. The main thing is, a common mistake is offering too much without having some kind of protection for the seller to make sure they get that money. Back to our example, if the house is only worth $400,000, it will not help your offer if you do $500,000 or any amount, because it won't appraise that high and the other agent will know that. So have contingencies behind there to improve that. The second most common mistake people do when their offer is not accepted is you have too many requests. If you ask for, in the initial offer, for the pool table, you ask for the fridge, you ask for the TV, you ask for all the lawn chairs in the backyard. When you ask for too many things, that will raise a red flag for the agent who's selling it, and they're gonna say, well, if they're asking for all this stuff now, what are they gonna ask for once their offer is accepted? So just be very careful, and that is definitely one of the most common issues that come up when your offer is not accepted at your house. The most in-depth of why an offer is not accepted is that there's too many protections for the buyer. Now, in Texas, when you buy a house, there is a lot of protections for buyers because the Texas Real Estate Commission is a consumer-driven agency, which means that they're protecting consumers buying houses. So in the agreements, there's a lot of protection for buyers. So most commonly, there are too many protections for buyers in this competitive market. So let's go into what these protections are and how we can alleviate them. So just full disclosure, you should protect yourself when buying a house. You should have every protection you can. I'm only mentioning the things that I receive when I sell a house that the seller tells me is a concern, and there's too many protections. So there's just things to consider, but you should be very protected. One of them is a contingency sale. So if you have to sell your house, use the proceeds and buy your next house, how far along the process is something you should be aware of. If it's pretty much rock solid and your agent tells you there's nothing to worry about, then maybe having a plan B of not disclosing that you have this house that you have to sell to buy the next one, or maybe there's other funds you can do, maybe there's a loan program you can do, but just start talking about a plan B when the house doesn't sell to make your offer more competitive. The next one's gonna be the financing. So there's a protection for the buyer for a set amount of days that they can secure financing. But if your loan officer swears up and down that you are rock solid in your loan, you don't need as many days as the previous market. So to have your offer more competitive, you should think about reducing those amount of days to secure financing, or secure financing before you even make the offer. There's programs for that too. So that's one other way. Another very common issue why offers don't get accepted is the day that you submit to close on that house is too far away. The most common thing is ask the seller when is a good time for them. They may have to sell a house. They may have to move into an apartment or any kind of living situation. They may need to rent the previous house. But if you don't ask, you won't know. So the day when they want to sell their house is very important to the seller, and you should make sure that your agent reaches out to them to figure out what is the best day that works for both parties. That small piece of information is really going to help your offer because it's accommodating and it doesn't really cost you that much money. Okay, this one really grinds my gears. This grinds my gears, okay? I'm just going to say it. I'm going to admit it. It's when the offer is not written professionally. So when you have an offer and you write it and it's missing names, it's missing dates, it's sent like some weird hello, hey, how are you, sign here.org kind of way. Just don't do that, or have your agent not do that, because when it comes across, it may get sent to junk mail. It may come across and there's missing information. So if there's missing information, how is a listing agent like myself going to present information to the seller accurately? So another reason is when you submit an offer and your agent is not local, they're not going to have some of the similarities that the local market has. So what does that mean? There may be some hyper-local forms that the local agent wants you to fill out. I'll give you an example. If you're buying by the coast, there's tidewater forms and flood zones. Those forms need to be presented right in the beginning. So having a hyperlocal agent is going to help your offer for most cases. And finally, the most important reason your offer doesn't get accepted is typically the financing. You have to make sure that your pre-approval letter, pre-qualification letter, whatever letter your lender is going to give you is intact and very accurate. I would even have your loan officer reach out to the agent to make sure that information is accurate and is presented accordingly. Honestly, if you are pre-approved for $400,000, but you only want to buy a $300,000 house, what's the harm in sending a letter that shows that you're pre-approved for way more, which is going to improve your chances. I hope this helped. I'm Trey with the Cavalry Group. See you at the next video.